This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me, busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail.
Wow, everybody, welcome. What a great show we have. Okay, so here we go. Biohacking away to a better you with my very special guest joining me here today, Dr. Grazyna Pajunen. I think I got that right. Dr. Grazyna Pajunen joining me here today. Now, for those of you out there, here's what's so exciting about this. We're going to talk about some things in a half-hour show, mostly, that we can talk about, but most of the information is going to come from Dr. Pajunen directly from the books. But if you have not heard this term, are you ready? Biohacking coach, get your pen out, hit rewind, listen to this, because would you like to feel better than you did? Well, I'm going to say at least 15, maybe 10 years ago. It's so great to have you here. Thank you. Let's start at the wisdom part of this, if we could. I think people right now are so hungry for feeling better. They're just so hungry. And I don't exactly know what the answer to that is. So can you give us some insight? But I want to just tell everybody for a minute. Biohacking away to a better you, look and feel better than you did 10 years ago. For those of you out there, what I'm trying to say is we're not talking about a one-size-fits-all. It's not like you go on a shelf and you pull it off, just like we're not a one-size-fits-all network. Native of Poland, Ph.D., so much more, is now bringing a term that you may or may not heard of, biohacking. And that's, to me, where you're looking at. I'm writing this white paper that's going to be able to depict and describe our network and the vision that I had 20, I don't even know how long ago. So what I realized in this whole process is I've never really shared it with anyone. I've just planned the network, Jessica, a little bit here, a little bit there, but never really taken and put down what the vision is. So for the good doctor, authored 50 peer-reviewed articles. I'm telling you, and she has worked with industry giants. The book covers a great deal, but more than that, you're going to want to know exactly what biohacking is. And that's what today's show is about. So before we get there, Sierra, if we could take a great short break, I would love that. We're going to take a shorty, everybody. We'll be right back. Hey, everybody, welcome back. So great to have you. Dr. Pajunen joining me here today. Look, thank you so much for joining me here today. This is a great way to talk to people in probably, I would say, a way that they hadn't heard before. Let's just start out with the term biohacking because it's such a cool term. But what we're talking about is health, reversal of age. We're talking about a lot of things. Take us through what biohacking is, but more importantly, your journey to get to be the expert spokesperson on it.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Pat, to have me on the show. And as you probably know, I am really excited about biohacking because biohacking is the science and the art of optimizing and improving one's biological functions, physical and also mental performances through self-experimentation. And the self-experimentation is very, very important because every single person is different. And I just found this by a little bit by accident because I wanted to optimize my own life and I wanted to optimize the life of my husband and my family. But it kind of, I started working with more and more people, and people were starting getting amazing results. And I got it more and more excited. And I am scientist. I am actually PhD in electrical engineering. And my
Yes.
area of expertise is optimal control systems. So I was in optimization basically most of my life. And I was always fascinated with human body because it's the most difficult project, to optimize really,
Yeah.
because our body is so smart. Our body can heal itself. Our body is very difficult to model, model our body, how it behaves, because it is unpredictable. It's you put some medication and it simply rearrange itself completely. So self experimentation is very important. Listen to yourself, but you have to have a knowledge also. So education in that field is incredibly important. And I deal with a lot of people, and yes, they listen. Oh, I need vitamin D. So they run to the store and they buy something, like vitamin D. They even don't know if this is absorbable. They even don't know what else they are taking, if this is really going to work for them. They have no idea. So, knowing, getting the information and optimizing it on every angle, it's extremely important. It's not only nutrition. Yes, nutrition is critical, but it's not only. It's not only sleeping well. Yes, this is extremely important, but everything has to come together. And one of the most important thing which I notice is that the people today, basically there is epidemic of people who have problems with movement, with joints,
Yes.
and you are losing muscle tone. You are getting older. You are basically, how you can enjoy your life if you wake up with pain, if you cannot move, if you cannot, so these are the problems that I am really focusing and helping people to solve.
I love this. Let me tell you why. For those of you out there, the term biohacking, it sounds like it's new because we're using the term hacking. But this is a whole systems approach. I come from my background, corporate background is Bell Labs. So can you imagine all the engineers and people I was around? I had lunch with Arno Penzias, talked about satellites. I mean, it was just an interesting for this kid. I was a kid who couldn't read and write, but I was like a sponge. So I want to ask you a couple of questions because sometimes we hear things and they don't come from knowledge. They don't come from that self-examination or self-experiment. And then they don't come from your approach because you have to work with somebody and do a proper assessment. My term, I'm not sure your term, but you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
Right.
100% agreed.
Yeah.
If it's like you want to climb Mount Everest, but it's very difficult that you will do it by yourself. Makes sense?
Does. I'm in this debate right now. I wish we had more time because I have been an athlete all my life. I really have. And the sport that I play, 4 gold medals last summer. But I need to build more muscle. What I'm finding is the more better. Is that even a term? Let me just say it. The more better I want to play because I want to move. I got 2 knee replacements and they're fabulous. But the fitness routine and the piece of equipment I have is not working. So so I'm talking to a very close friend, a couple of people. I'm like, I grew up in a gym like Schwarzenegger. I grew up pumping iron. And no, I'm not going to try to lift a 40-pound dumbbell, but they have universal gyms. Now, for somebody like me, I'm not going to go down the street to the fitness. So there's this debate about, do you really need that? And here's the thing I want to ask you. Everything about my psyche and body says I am not using the piece of equipment that moves my body weight up and down because one I can't put on my knees, and this would work for me. And I sit in this place where I just know, how do you integrate in the work you do, biohacking, what somebody feels inside, to give them advice like, you want to be like, go to the nationals? Well, Pat, you got to change some stuff, right?
Right. Well, first of all, I would have interview with people, and I find out what they want and what's missing, and what we can do. That's the number one, because everybody is different.
Yeah.
But in general, most important is, and this is across like 90% of people, and I love to work with people like you who are fit because they take care of themselves already. So, number one thing is degeneration of connective tissue and inflammation. And the third one is gut. Once we solve those three problems, then we go to hormones. But we have to test. I have to test. I need to see some data, to do more exact analysis. However, the degeneration of connective tissue is necessary to correct. So, how do you do that? You have to use a suitable supplement, because there is no way. There is possible not to degenerate if you are like in blue zones area and they don't generate. But once you degenerate it, then you need to rebuild it. And you can't rebuild it from food or exercise alone. And this is critical. So people are taking powder collagen. Well, good,
Yes.
good,
Yes.
good luck. Good luck. It's not going to work for you. And I have one call after the other. Oh, I'm already taking powder collagen. So what? If it has to go to the digestive system, it's destroyed by your gut, acids, and it's not going to work for you. You have to have something that your body can absorb and utilize, because it's not what you take, but what your body utilizes to rebuild itself. Because we are like imagine you have gorgeous house and you have fire. So what you do, you have to put the fire is like inflammation. You have to put inflammation down. But then you have to start rebuild your house, and you don't start from painting or putting nice furniture. You first of all put bricks and cement. And bricks and cement is collagen, hyaluronic acid, chondroitin sulfate, and other glycosaminoglycans that can rebuild, that your body
Yeah.
recognizes as its own, and says, yes, I'm losing it, please give it back to me, I want to rebuild it myself.
Okay, so let's talk about this in liquid form, because I'm a candidate for it, because all of the powders that I've been trying to take, they just are not working. And, honestly, I do not want to buy not one more powder. But can we absorb in liquid form? Because my vitamin D, I take in liquid form. But tell us about liquid form and give us a solution, is what I'm asking.
Yes, the solution is we have the GMP labs in California discovered a natural source that is exactly the same structure as our own body. So, and they hired the scientists from Harvard, Stanford, and Cornell, and they optimized the size of the molecule. So when you drink it, you hold it under your tongue for about 10-15 seconds, and then your body is absorbing it directly on the set. So you have to saturate your body with this, and the body takes over and puts it in the places when it's the most needed, which is eyes, joints, skin, gums, and all the other where you need, even cardiovascular system, because everything is built from connective tissue. So this is patented collagen hyaluronic acid matrix. And now, which one? We have several, so I can advise you which one to take with about 15 minutes. If you call me, or we set up the 15 minutes call, then I would be able to advise you which one you want to take and how much, because that's also important. You know,
Yeah.
people have no idea, even if they, if I give you the name and you don't know for you how much to take and which one exactly to take, you have no results.
Well,
So
I'm going to call you because, see, I'm at the point now where I already know sitting down on that gym that is not, it's not going to build muscle with that little cable. That is not going to work for me, not
no.
to play at the level. And then if I have to take one more powder of anything without knowing, so I'm a perfect candidate to call you, which I will, because I don't want to experiment on my own. I'm at the point now, like so many women, we want to feel better and we keep not feeling better.
Yes, and I reversed my personal age 14 years, and any of you can.
I'm
You
in
know,
it.
you have to just know what to do. I was fanatic about this, finding the right solution. I am not, you know, it's not one company, you buy this. You have to have clinical studies, you have to know it works for you, and it has to be suitable, how much you need to take, how to take it, and we have to have checking points every month, a check that it works. If not, we adjust, because it's like airplane, you know, you fly, but you have to double check, you know, am I in the right course, or maybe I need to a little bit turn. And that's how we work. And yes, I'm fascinated to work with women, especially because I know how hard it is. You try your best to look fantastic. You try your best, but you know what? Whenever wherever I go, they say, "What? You are 74? That's
No way, right?
impossible! Impossible!" Yes, it is possible. But look at me. Like when I was 60, when I had problems with my bones, I had problems with movement of my hips, I had all these problems, and today I have no problems. Running, fantastic. Splits, no problem. You know, so I know it works.
Yeah.
It's not a question. And for 14 years, so many people. We had people who had problems with lower back. They were already rebuilding the house because the doctor said they are going to be a wheelchair. I have problems with athletes who wanted to still participate in competitions, and the doctors told them that they have to forget it because of the problems with joints, you know, and they win the world record, you know, after working. You know, you can. You have to trust this body, anybody, our body can rebuild itself. It
Yeah.
can.
And I think what we're talking about today, for those of you just tuned in, certainly I want to make sure people know the website to go to, but where can people also get the book? Because I want folks to really kind of take a glimpse at what I've taken a glimpse at, but also there are things that I found on your website where people can take a look and get some
Absolutely.
educated, because what is the biggest conundrum people are going through right now? I'll tell you what it is, because I know GLP, like put it in, I gotta lose the weight. What is that? All of a sudden, out of nowhere, it's like this thing that has just come out of nowhere. We don't have a clue about it, and we're not really learning much about it. Now, I'm not saying that it's not good for some people, but man, we're just not knowing, and we are just jumping in head first. But for
First
you,
of
how do
all,
we find out
yes,
about?
first of all, you don't do everything at the same time.
Good
You
idea.
in order. And that is the reason why I work with people.
Yeah.
And I don't charge for that, because I am getting, when they buy supplements, I'm working with different companies. But as I said, I'm working only with the companies that are tested, that I clean, that I can have a clinical studies, that I studied it, and I do it for 14 years. And those things I am able to maneuver, because people are like going to a jungle and they don't know which way to go, because you know everywhere it's so too much information, and you don't know anymore whom to trust and whom to. And I
Yeah.
said, you know, don't even trust me. I am giving you information, and please do it, do your own due diligence. So yes, first of all, the book is on Amazon. So if you like to get it, I strongly, that's the reference book. This is, I wrote like a scientist. So I go very deep to each topic, and there are 500 references, so you can have the basics. And then just call me or book a call. It's meetgarage.com. Meet, GRAZ.com. That's it. You go there and you just book, your 15 minutes. Usually it is half an hour because usually we talk, but not more than that. And then I will find out what is your problem. I will propose a solution. It's not a sales call, it's an information call. So, and I can tell you what's possible, what's not possible, what time, how long it takes, and so on. So this is, to get your results, and we will be go meeting every month. Those meetings, especially at the beginning, are critical. You have to take we have to double check. You have to take a picture of your face, and then we zooming on the quality of the skin, because that's the biggest organ. So when you see that the quality of the skin is improving, that means inside your body is rebuilding as well.
Yeah.
So, and that is how we start. And then whatever you have a weight loss problem, when that's a different thing. If you have, want to just look beautiful, yes, you can, without injections, without medications, and without, invasive things. Um, so and surgery, surgery.
Yes. Yeah.
Uh, so that's what I would think that all of us deserve.
Yeah.
And even if you had, Dr. Pat, joint replacement, think about your bones. We need to make them very strong because
Exactly.
very long. And also muscles, you have to know how to choose your protein is critical, and you have to know which one is clean, which one doesn't have all the garbage, and so on. And you have to know how many amino acids are there. How the average person have to know all this. It's impossible. So you
It
need
is. It
advice.
is. And, hopefully when you and I meet, we'll go through it, because I was shocked to find out that the protein drink that I was using, which I'm not anymore, had a major carcinogen in it. And the only reason I know, there was some pop-up article on it.
Yes,
But I found that carcinogen is a thickener. So it's not just in my protein, it's in yogurt, it's in this, it's in that. But clearly, I love your systems approach, because we are amazing systems as
exactly,
human beings. We
exactly.
are. Thank you so much for today. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
everything.
And I really thank you so much for letting me share this very critical information with all your listeners. Thank you.
It's game changing. That's what it is.
It
And for
is.
those of you out there, please go check and for yourselves, because I know you're reaching for that shelf at the store you're at for that powdered collagen. Before you do that, give the doctor a call. We'll see you next time.